What is going on, guys and gals? This is Matt Benz here with Benzy's Bit, episode number 9. Nina in it. Here we are. Hope you all are having a great week. I just wanted to get you updated with what's going on in the world of sports. So first and foremost, once again, my name is Matt Benz. You can like me and follow me on Twitter at TwistBenz for all my fun opinions that I consider facts, things of that nature. You know, give you a smile, make you cry, a little drama, a little comedy, all the above. So today what we're going to dive into is we're going to get into the Madden Rankings a little bit. So far what they've released is a couple, top 10 running back rankings, a couple that have fallen from last season, and then we also have some QB rankings to go over and to fill you in on. And then I'm going to go into some buzz around sports, maybe catch a little Benzy's Bite review at the end, and then we'll send you on your way and get you through hump day and then on to this beautiful weekend. So this weekend, we actually have a current event in my life that we get to celebrate. We're actually going to be celebrating my bachelor party on Saturday. So there will be no live Twist episode. Now, for those of you who don't know what Twist is, what rock are you living under? First and foremost, Twist, the weekend sports talk. Go check that out at twistsportstalk.com. You can also listen to us on RTF Sports Network, just like this show as well. So if you want to go to rtfsportsnetwork.com, give that a listen. There's not live shows, but there is shows on there all day, every day. Get your sports fill. There's that. That's my spiel. Let's get into the real cold, hard stuff here. First and foremost, Benzy's breakdown. So like I said, we're going to dive into the Madden rankings that were released this week. Let's start with the running back position. So far, what we know is that there has been a couple guys that dropped out of the top 10 from last year. Last year's number 1 was Todd Gurley. He's no longer in the top 10. Last year, tied for numbers Le'Veon Bell and Melvin Gordon. They both aren't in the top 10 this year. Then you have Kareem Hunt, who was number 7 last year, which is just bonkers to me. But yeah, he's not in the top 10. And then Devontae Freeman is not in the top 10. He was number 9 last year. So here are the rankings. For those of you that don't know what Madden is, you probably also don't listen to Twist because you live under a rock. But Greg, I'm here for you, Green Bay Greg. I'll explain to you a little bit about Madden Rankings. Okay, so Madden Rankings rank you basically from 0 to 99, we'll say. I've never seen a 0 in my life, obviously, because they're professional athletes, but 99 being the best. Okay, the 99 club is a very exclusive club. Usually, like this season, we'll start with Christian McCaffrey, who was a 99. Okay, now underneath him, it's a significant drop. You go from 99 to 93, Derrick Henry. That's a really big drop. I would have thought that you would see more guys at 93. We'll get into that. I thought you'd have more guys closer to the 99 level. Okay. So after Derrick Henry, you have Chubb at 92, Zeke at 92. That's an interesting comparison in and of itself. You're comparing Ezekiel Elliott to Chubb. Interesting take. Then below that, you've got 91s of Saquon Barkley and Dalvin Cook. Saquon a 91? Holy cow. So that's going to be my big snub. Saquon being a 91. I think Cook can get a little bit of a bump, but I understand. It's just durability. These guys, even Saquon, I get it, but still there shouldn't be that significant of a drop from 99 to 91. You're putting 8 points between Saquon and Christian McCaffrey. Crazy. Okay, after that, you've got Aaron Jones at 90. That's an interesting one. I think that's well-deserved after his last season. I mean, he was leading. He was tied for first in rushing touchdowns and I think touchdowns from scrimmage. So that is well-deserved. He worked hard to get that 90, and the 90 is a good ranking, especially for a Packer. And then you go down to Mixon at 89, which I still don't get the hype. I understand he's a dual threat running back. We'll see how he meshes with Burrow. Then you've got Josh Jacobs at 88, which is understandable. I could see that almost for a Chubb at like a 90, but for him to be bumped up and compared to Zeke at a 92, that's crazy in of itself. Then you've got the big bonkers one, Alvin Kamara, 88. Whoo! So that right there shows that the hype was real with Kamara, at least in the Madden world. And we'll see how it goes. Obviously, throughout the season, there are bumps and updates to rankings, but that's where Kamara is starting at an 88. Now we'll dive a little bit into the quarterback position. So Madden rankings for the QB position, you have Mahomes joining another club. I mean, how many clubs is this guy going to join, right? So last season, he was the cover star of Madden. This season, he joins the 99 club. So he is at 99. Then you have Russell Wilson at 97, Lamar at 94. I know a lot of the Lamar haters out there are wondering, how? What has he proven? Well, he's proven that he's real quick and he's real young. So that potential factor is there. He is the fastest quarterback in the game this season. I believe they gave him like a 96 speed or something crazy. So you got 94 overall grade for Lamar. Drew Brees at 93. This is where it's starting to get a little sketchy because you've got Brady at 90 and you've got Aaron Rodgers at 89. That right there in of itself, what are you guys doing? I understand that the Pack didn't throw the ball as much. I understand Rodgers didn't have as many weapons, but that doesn't mean Rodgers is a below 90 Madden quarterback. I mean, you're only giving Rodgers an 89 and you're getting Matt Ryan, Matty Ice an 87. Okay. Matty Ice should be much lower than that, I believe. Either that or you got to bring some of these quarterbacks up because Deshaun Watson is not worse of a skill player. Now, you're not grading these players on the team that they have necessarily. You're grading these players on their skills. Okay, so it's basically like, speed, throwing power, throwing accuracy, deep throwing accuracy, short throwing accuracy. That has nothing to do with your skill players. All right. Now, obviously, statistics from last year are going to have to do with the rankings this year. Understandable. But, Deshaun Watson came in at an 86. And then you have Dak Prescott at an 84 and Carson Wentz at an 84. They're so big. There's so much margin there. And for me personally, you can't put Deshaun Watson and Aaron Rodgers below Brady. Okay. Now Brady is questionably the GOAT. He's arguably the GOAT, just based on rings, based on, consistency throughout the years. I get that. But he's over the hill and you don't know what's going to happen this season. So maybe they gave him a bump based on the skill positions that he's going to have. I mean, he doesn't have to have as much accuracy, and it may look like he has a lot of accuracy this season just because he's got guys that can catch the rock and go get it. So that's your Madden rankings. A lot of people were very, very player-wise, were very shocked on Twitter. I know that Alvin Kamara arguably stated, don't change my rankings once the season gets going. Let me feed off of that. So that's very cool to see. Hopefully these guys do really rev up and get it going. So congratulations on Christian McCaffrey and Mahomes joining that 99 club exclusive. And from there, let's go on to Benzy's Baller of the Week. So we start off with the Baller of the Week. We go into the Bonehead of the Week. Obviously, the Baller of the Week has to do with being a baller. So let's get into that. The Baller of the Week is going to be Chris Jones, defensive tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs. He reached a 4-year deal worth up to $85 million. Yes, million M's dollars. All right, so $37 million due at signing. Holy cow. That right there will make my stomach hurt. $37 million due at signing. Good for him. Then you go on to $60 million guaranteed in case of injury. Okay, that sounds even better. And then you got $5 million in incentives, making the value of the contract up to $85 million. The Chiefs are now The only team in the NFL with 3 players making at least $60 million guaranteed, with Jones joining Mahomes guaranteed for $140 million, and defensive end Frank Clark guaranteed at $62.3 million. So the Chiefs have their core. Now they're just going to have to figure out how to keep these weapons coming in. And that's something that I think that Kansas City can do. You've seen it from other teams. With the Patriots, they always had kind of a late pick. So they always kind of went defense-wise, and they didn't really surround Brady with a lot of weapons. I mean, he's always had at least a couple, but he's never had a lot. So right now, the Chiefs trying to hang on to a Travis Kelce, trying to hang on to a Tyreek Hill, trying to hang on to all these other assets that they have. Now, they have a lot of youth there, so they should be able to keep this legacy going, but we'll really see what happens. Now on to the bonehead of the week. This one will be good for you guys. Let's see how we go. So my bonehead of the week is going to be Odell Beckham Jr. Interesting, right? Odell, bonehead of the week? Yeah, because the blonde is back, and so is a different attitude. So because Odell Beckham dyed his hair blonde, he is basically telling people this. This is how I feel, Beckham said. I'm tired of playing your game. Like me and Cam talk about that humble shit when you are inside like we are humble men. But they've taken that humbleness as a weakness, and they shit on us. It's crazy to me because when you're up and you're talking, they hate it. And for me this year, I'm trying to kill. Like, that's it. Then he continues to state, that's why the blonde is back. There's nothing you can tell me. Okay, so first and foremost, for a Cam Newton and Odell Beckham Jr., for them to state themselves and then humble in the same sentence is interesting. Okay. Now, Cam, I can understand because he may have been humbled by this offseason. He may have been humbled by nobody just going out and snatching him right away. That may make sense. But Odell, just because you spent a season, just because you're not in the headlines doesn't mean you've been humble. Just because you're not stirring up drama does not make you a humble man. Okay. And lastly, just because you dye your hair blonde does not make your potential season about to go up. Now, if that's all you have to do to be elite, if that's all you have to do as a player to turn it on and motivate yourself more, you should have dyed your hair a long time ago back to blonde. All right. And for you to be a professional athlete and for you to hold yourself at a higher level than the majority of wide receivers, you should always be trying to kill. You should always be trying to hold yourself and have that chip on your shoulder. You should never quit. That's the thing with Antonio Brown. Even though he has all of this extra drama, all of this extra baggage, every practice you could see him out there trying to tell everybody, you can't stop me, and that's that work ethic on the field. Now, off the field is a whole different story, but Odell, bonehead of the week. Holy cow. What is going on? Well, what is going on? Let's get into Benzy's Buzz. Now, Benzy's Buzz is going to be some headlines that we're going to dip into just to get you guys updated, and that will be that. So first and foremost, Texas wide receiver Kenny Stills arrested at Louisville protest. Houston Texans wide receiver was arrested Tuesday in Louisville and faces a felony charge after participating in a protest at the home of Kentucky Attorney General. Stills, 28, was booked at 11:36 p.m. local time and charged with intimidating a participant in the legal process, a felony, and that is according to Louisville's jail booking log. He was also charged with misdemeanor disorderly conduct and criminal trespass. Stills was one of 87 people arrested after marching to the home of Kentucky AG Daniel Cameron as part of the protest over the death of Breonna Taylor. So that's breaking news in of itself. When you hear that aspect that 87 people were arrested after marching to the home of the Attorney General and he was one of them, I don't see that felony charge holding up for one. And for two, I don't know how peaceful it was. So we'll see how much more stuff comes through, and we'll see. But if it's peaceful and it was just having to do with trespassing and things of that nature, shake it off, because as long as it's peaceful, who's to stop you? Okay, now if they were worried about the risk in the situation, we'll see as more facts come to light. Number 2, LSU's Ed Orgeron says country needs football during pandemic. He said, and I quote, "We need to play. This state needs it. This country needs it." Now, that was his quote, stating also that Louisiana's confirmed coronavirus caseload is among the fastest growing per capita in the country, and its infection and hospitalization rates are surging. Now, that's worrying public health experts in a state that previously seemed to be successfully flattening the curve. Now, what that basically means is that Ed is stating that we need football and it needs to happen, but how does it happen? As closer, you're talking to somebody that had COVID-19, right? Get to go back to work tomorrow. Not very excited about that, but I get to go back to work, and that's the big thing, so far and so forth, you have a 0.4% fatality rate because of COVID-19. 0.4, not 4, 0.4%, give or take, but 0.4% was last stat I heard. Do you cripple a country because of 0.4%? That's tough, man. I'm also, a drug addict, right? In recovery. So I'm coming up on 4 years in recovery, which is awesome. And I'm super proud of that stat. But how many people die from drug addiction on a daily basis? That's a pandemic in of itself. That is crazy in of itself. But the country doesn't shut down. The economy doesn't get crippled. Now, that's a very selfish answer, to some might say, but really it's for the greater good. It's not about shutting things down. It's about realizing who's at high risk and to help those at high risk, and to understand that those that aren't at high risk for fatality from COVID-19, they need to continue on. They will be okay. They may get it. They may have to stay home at that point, but to shut things down and to keep crippling this economy is going to lead to much worse side effects than if you were to just let it run its course. So good for Ed Orgeron to speak up. Country does need football. I think the country just needs normalcy, and it's tough to do so with so much unknown. On to the third one. Braves signed free agent outfielder Yasiel Puig. The agreement comes after Braves outfield Nick Markakis opted out for the 2020 season earlier this month. A Major League All-Star in 2014, Puig, 29 years old, batted .267 in 149 games last season with the Reds and the Indians, and helped the Indians surge back in the AL Central. So, great signing. I like Puig. He's a head case in of itself, but he's a dangerous batter. Not as much of a fielder. Dude's jacked, but he can play the field. You stick him in right field, that's perfectly fine. And you've got a batter that can always is a threat to go deep. Now, in a short season, if he starts hot, just like any other batter. But you hope that he starts hot because he can put him in the stands. So good for the Braves to fill a need. Good for Puig to get paid another season. Number 4, Rocket star James Harden arrives in Orlando 5 days after the team. Okay, so the Rockets have not disclosed a reason for Harden's delayed arrival. Harden must go through an initial quarantine period in his hotel room, as all players and staff did upon arrival before joining the Rockets for practice. Why did he wait 5 days and they're not saying anything? Paranoia, most likely, wanting to see how it goes, sending the guinea pigs in first. Now, I could see that being something James Harden would do. So he's there now. Good luck on your quarantine, brother. It sucks. Number 5, Karl Kaprasov signs an entry-level contract with my Minnesota Wild, ineligible for qualifiers. Now, for those of you that don't know, this has been a 5-year ongoing thing. Now, Karl Kaprasov played in the KHL, He was a 5th-round pick in the 2015 NHL draft. He led the KHL Hockey League with 33 goals and was 3rd with 62 points in 57 games this season. He is 23 years of age. He is a forward, wing, and he helped the Olympic athletes from Russia win the gold medal at the 2018 Olympics, scoring 9 points, 5 goals, and 4 assists in 6 games. Dude's electric. He will have a learning curve. I firmly believe that because the KHL and the Olympics is not the NHL. But once he finds his rhythm and finds his speed, this guy is dangerous, and the Minnesota Wild greatly needed him. I'm glad they got it done. Now, he is ineligible for the qualifiers this year, but just for him to get some experience and to practice with the team, hopefully sit on the bench as well and watch some of this hockey, that will be very good for him. So congratulations to the Wild. I'm very excited as a Wild fan, and that is awesome. Last but not least, Benzy's Bite. So this week's food review is going to be on Honey and Mackey's. Honey and Mackey's is an ice cream parlor, and like they also do like hot dogs and kind of like what's the word I'm thinking of? Like a little diner type setting, and that's in Maple Grove, Minnesota. What I had was the S'mores and Reese's Pieces shake. I give it 3.5 stars. The reason why I give it kind of a low rating at 3.5 is simply because I shouldn't have ordered 2 different flavors. I should have just done one instead of thinking I'm smarter than the rest. Instead of thinking I'm smarter than the people that put these flavors together and thinking S'mores and Reese's Pieces would go good together. It was good, but that's simply just because I was craving ice cream, and that's that. So once again, this was Benzy's Bit, episode number 9. Make sure you go and follow me on Twitter at TwistBenz. Make sure you like us on Facebook, RTF Sports Network, Twist, The Week in Sports Talk, twistsportstalk.com. Once again, that's twistsportstalk.com. Go ahead. Make sure you check out our website. Make sure you check out our past episodes. Once again, we will not have a live episode this week due to my bachelor party. We are going to go turn up in some undisclosed to me location, which will be a riot. Not literally, but it will be fun. Make sure you check that out. Make sure you, once again, go listen to rtfsportsnetwork.com, and make sure you just have a good week. Stay out of trouble. Get your lives together. I know I am trying to. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.